Welcome, beautiful souls. With grace and gratitude, I welcome you into my home and into this beautiful space. Today, we are working with the full moon in Capricorn energy. I've called upon our higher selves and our guides and all those who are meant to be here with us today. I've also called upon the healing energies of the universe. So if you would like a nice deep healing, all you have to say is, I accept this healing. I accept this healing. And Spirit will bring it to you. Whatever's in your greatest and highest good, use your own languaging. Okay, so as we're pulling this together, we are like in the peak energy. We're like literally like getting into the apex, I guess they call it, right? Like we're getting into the nitty gritty of this energy. I just got this vibe from Spirit, like just start now. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm here for you. So for those of you who are new here, welcome. I am Tallulah Kelly. I am the magical medium, and welcome back to all of you who keep coming back. We are in great, deep respect for our elders, our ancestors, all those who walk with us, beside us, above us, below us, all around us. Lilith is here. She is here to speak with all of us with the moon energy. The cards that you see before you are actually for a pick-a reading that we're going to do. And I wasn't sure if they were going to have me put them face out, but it was really interesting that they did, because it didn't even faze me until just now that it seemed normal to me, right? Because it's a full moon. I'm like, oh yeah. So if you know your moons, right, like then you'll know like the moon cycle. But it's kind of interesting that they told me to cover the words and you can't see anything except for a little bit over here. So it's kind of funny, right? Because here, let me zoom in a little bit. Because all you see is like moon. But if you know, you know, right? Okay, so, and also they have some astrological signs up there. So if you're drawn to that, like basically this is one of those readings where Spirit wants you to use your intuition. I'm not doing a group reading, so to speak, but this is pretty. I'm gonna take a picture. We're not doing a group reading, but we are doing like an update, I guess, or a report. So if you're ready to dive into your reading, you go right into it. You can come back and listen to this, not listen to this, whatever feels good to you. Those of you who've been with me a long time, whenever we have these messages that come through for the tribe, you're like, oh my gosh, no, I always listen to that first, right? Because you kind of want to know what's going on. But because this is the full moon energy, full moons are about celebration and the culmination of things. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, but isn't it just like halfway through the moon cycle? It's like, it is, but it's also about the building, right? When we have a new moon, we're starting in shadow. We're putting our thoughts and our dreams and our hopes out into the universe for what we're looking to receive back. Saying like, hey, throwing spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks, right? Like, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. Is it going to come during this moon cycle? And so we have 2 weeks from the new moon to the full moon to kind of put our dreams and our hopes and our aspirations out there. When the moon becomes full, it is in this kind of celebratory time of, if you've been getting hints or even a little crumb, even a breadcrumb, of something that you put out into your intentions on the new moon, and your wishes, your manifestations, your hopes that you put out into the moon energy, Lilith will give you a little hint by the full moon if things are going in the direction that they are meant to go. If they're not, then that is an energy that Spirit is like, either it's not going to happen now in this lifetime, or maybe not yet. Okay, so whatever imagery is calling to you, maybe all three of them are calling to you. They do have words, and they obviously have different energies and different meanings, but whatever is calling to you is what is the most important right now. And it is the full moon in Capricorn, but we are in Cancer season, so keep that in mind as well. And what else? What else? What else? Is there anything else, Spirit, that you'd like to say? So I'm going to just kind of, do the here's reading 1, here's reading 2, here's reading 3. You know what I mean? Timestamps are in the description box. Go check it out. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can email me. My email address is there as well. Or if you'd like to contribute anything to the work that I do on this channel, there's links to that. I know some of you, we've been talking about buy me a coffee. I did some investigating. Here's the thing. I would have so many more links if Spirit called me to. But a lot of the thing that's really gross that's happening with this is that a lot of these companies and these financial institutions are piggybacking off of banking systems and apps. So like someone creates an app like Buy Me a Coffee and they're like, hey, this is awesome. But they need a bank to back them, right? So like when you see like certain, like Venmo, I think is a form of PayPal, or do you know what I mean? But there's so much fakery and fuckery going out there right now with that kind of stuff that Spirit's really had me pull back. And I kept getting this vibe to do Buy Me a Coffee. Maybe this message is for somebody else. I don't know. But I did the investigating, and long story short, they take about 8%. And I don't like it. I understand that they're doing a service, which I'm happy to participate in doing the service, but I think 8% is fucking bullshit. If someone sends me $5, so they get almost 10% of that, and you might be like, oh, it's only, let's just say 50 cents or whatever, right? Because if you round it up. But it's not about that. It's about the collection of that I think kind of gets out of control. So basically, I didn't see it in the fine print. I was signing up for it. It said 5%. I'm like, oh, that's about standard. That's fine for Buy Me a Coffee, right? I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to sign up for it. And the only thing I had to do is enter the bank information. And then while I was like, figuring that part out, I was called to investigate like the fine print. And when I investigated the fine print, that's when I saw that they're liars, because it literally says, only 5, buy me a coffee, come be with us, like we only take 5%, like it's not that much, blah blah blah. And you're like, yeah, in the big, but if someone sent me $50, then that means that they get $2.50, right? If you sent me $50 and it was 10%, it'd be $10. But okay, so I was like, okay, even that, I'm like, that's cool. $2.50, fine. That's fine. It's like a transaction amount. That's cool. I'm cool with that. Until I read the fine print, which said that they were connected with stipend or Stipe or Stripe or something. I think it's Stripe. But interesting that stipend came out. And so I saw that they take like 3.38% basically, right? Like not really 4%. So I'm just like, okay, so interesting. That's interesting. And maybe my math's wrong, but I know I'm somewhere around there. When I added it up, it was somewhere around 8%, either just before 8% or over 8%. It was somewhere in there. And then I was like, that fucking shit adds up. And the more I thought about it, I was just like, I just don't want you to pay them for that. And I don't, like, you're trying to pay me, and I don't feel comfortable paying that. I think it's fucking bullshit. They should like do something together with the bank, but instead it's like, at least be upfront about it and be like, hey, we only take 5%, but, and it's like, and it's on there. It's on the app information or website or whatever the fuck it was that I went to, it's there. But you have to really look for it. And I'm like, just be transparent. And so I have a hard time with that. So until things, whatever, right now I have, and I know a lot of people are like, don't use Amazon. So you don't have to use Amazon if you don't want to. Some people, that's the only form they have to use. And so Spirit is like having me still stay connected to that. So for whatever reason. And then I have Venmo. And I know Venmo is like an American thing. But the thing I like about Venmo is that I can choose if I want them to take money out or not. And that's what I like about it. If I want the money right there up front, I can pay the fee and get the money up front, which I like that option. It's cool. They even have an option now that if you put it like to get it 2 or 3 days, but you realize you need it immediately, you can still do that, which is, again, very fucking cool. So until I can find an international company or bank or something that I can use, and I need to research that further. And if you have any knowledge or anything that you use that you really believe in, please feel free. You know, I mean, somebody was like, maybe you should use Etsy, you know, where people can like, you know, buy something. I'm like, I don't know. But it's just interesting. And, you know, I had something with my, you know, partner recently where I could feel their stress that, you know, they take on a lot of the money. So I was like, listen, the money's coming. I'm like, you've hung in there with me this long. I'm like, keep holding in there with me. So I know a lot of you guys don't have money. So the prayers work, right? I mean, all we need is, you know, right? One person, one benefactor. My gosh. It's like, if there's like one person, one channel that has like 500,000 subscribers that likes me and promotes me, you know what I mean? It's like, those are the kind of prayers that I know that those are coming my way. Like everything's coming my way. I can feel it. Everything's coming up roses. It was 11:09 and which is 11. And then I laughed and looked up and looked down. It was 11:11. So like, I believe in divine timing. And I also believe in divine like intervention. So I believe in prayer. Prayer is free. So, you know, I can see that they're really in a like intense time where they're working on their shadow and working on their stuff. So it's like, yeah, if you can, always, thank you so much. But if you can't, it's not a requirement to be here. Okay. And even for him, I was just like, hang in there, man, hang in there. I'm like, just fucking hang in there. I'm like, we're so close. We're so close. I'm like, I can taste it. I can smell it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Both of my channels, I get new subscribers almost every single day on both my channels. And I was talking to this YouTuber person and they were like, you know, that's actually really good. They're like, that means that like, that there's like action going on, which is showing the algorithms, you know. And so I get the vibe that like Spirit's holding me back. Oh, when I looked down, it was 12:12. So that's our angel number for the group today, 12:12. So I have a feeling that is like, you know what I mean, like part of it. So just hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. In real time today is July 10th, 2025, which is also an 8-day. If you add up all the numbers, it's an 8-day, which is really great. And 8s are about infinity. Also, the reason why I was so drawn to do this was because I have been having mad monkey mind. When I look down, it's 12:46, which is also the number 13. Okay, so listen, my divine feminine warriors and my divine masculine warriors, we are working together as a co-collective. We need to keep ourselves as grounded and centered as possible. Be in nature when you can, be around people when you can, but when you're around people, make sure that you're grounded first. If you have to go be around people or situations that feel a little unsteady for you, go ground yourself first. Go sit outside, go to a park, go walk in a forest before you go, whatever is right for you, okay? But this energy is so intense. I did a little shorts. I actually made it, created it, and put it on this channel. And then Spirit pulled me to put it on Lula's Labyrinth. So that must mean that they need the messages more over there. Because I kind of feel like Lula's Labyrinth is like either spiritual people who totally get it and don't need this channel, the Magical Medium, or maybe they're on both. I don't know. Maybe you guys are on both. Thank you for supporting me on both, and this energy and this light work that I'm doing. But also, I feel like Lula's Labyrinth is for a lot of lost souls. It's like the land of misfit toys. And over the last 5 or 6 months, especially since Baba passed, I have felt a connection and a kinship with that channel. And I've been nurturing it and treating it in a different way. And I wasn't like putting it in your face spiritual as much, and pulled back from that. And now it's like I can tell that Spirit's kind of having me integrate it more. It's like I'm weaving it in, but I'm not like in your face, you know what I mean? We're like the Magical Medium, you know where you are. But Lula's Labyrinth, that's the whole point of it. You know, it's like you never know what you're gonna get on my channel. You don't know where you're gonna end up, what's gonna happen. You know, mazes can be kind of scary because you can keep going in a maze, you know, forever. If you keep going down the wrong path, you can get stuck in there. But a labyrinth will always lead you to some way out. And that's why I call it Lula's Labyrinth, because my brain, my energy, there's something to it. And there's a reason why Spirit put me here and created me and my brain and my knowing and my soul knowledge and all that. Like, they put me here, they placed me here for a reason. Another picture, okay. All of these things mean something. So don't dismiss that energy. I have been trying to claw the fuck out of my place where I'm living. I've gone into monkey mind madness over the last 3 days over something that happened on 4th of July that I have not been able to shake. It was 4th of July and then last Sacred Sunday, I had two main things that happened with this place that I was like, no, actually, let me take that back. It was 4th of July, then Saturday, then Sunday. All 3 of those days, it was like a fucking shit show. The energy here, around here, the people connected to this place, it was just really wild. It was really wild. Very educational, very knowing, very intuitive energy. But at the same time, my like old self, this older version of me, broke down into this fucking like, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? I gotta get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. I hate this place. Like, I used the word hate like twice the other day, which a lot of you know is just not a word that really dances around my vocabulary very often, which I know is my ego, which is me being like, get me the fuck out of here. Using my pendulum cards, looking at readings. Whenever I get to that manic monkey mind place, I know that I'm in a place of where I need to just surrender. I need to release and let it go. So that's what I need to work on. So I don't know if one of these will be for me as well. Maybe all of these will be for me and for you. But I just know going into this that it's for us to look at things from a broader spectrum. It's not that Spirit doesn't want us to feel it emotionally. They just want us to pull ourselves out of things when it's getting too heavy and too hot, and when we're grasping at straws and I'm drowning, right? That is a part of you that's dying off that needs to go. Oh, when I looked at it, was 17, 16, and then 17, 17. So, 17, 17's been coming up so much for this tribe. And then it was so awesome because one of our tribe members, we've been trying to connect for seriously 5 months. And long story short, they're like, I was like, what's your schedule like? I'm like, you have more pieces to move around than I do. So you tell me your perfect days and I will work with Spirit and find out when. And it was funny because I was going through their list and the second I saw the 17th, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And Spirit said yes. And I was so excited. From the time everything was perfect. It was I'm like, dude, on the calendar, you're there. I'm like, fucking awesome. I can't wait to connect. It's going to be awesome. And long story short, it's also the first day of Mercury going retrograde. So right now we are in the process of a fucking planetary retrograde. It's going to be a lot. When we have a parade of planets in retrograde like that, it can really feel and that's my languaging around it. I don't know if that's that technical term. I know they say the parade of planets, when they come together, but you know what I'm saying? It kind of feels like that though. But look at this for a second. Look at all the things that are going retrograde, meaning even to the point of ever since this horrendous, heinous, disgusting bill came to be in the United States that the sitting president is so proud of and thinks it's this miracle tonic that's going to just set the whole fucking universe straight is, maybe there's some wizard, maybe there's some magical whatever that I can't see, maybe they're beyond me. But if they are, then I will take my ego and I will work with that. But right now, 1905, that feels like a year. Yeah, interesting. That feels like a year. I just got the chills. So, and then I saw 1912 and then 1913. That just feels like another a bunch of bullshit. They're just trying form of control, whatever, because they see what's happening on the planet. They see that we are rising. They see that we are taking over. There's nothing, nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Whoa, no, right? I'm like in my, it's like looking in your eyes, I see the paradise, right? Like it's like the world that I found is finally coming true. It is. So like take a look around you, you know? I mean, there's this card, this dreamy Pisces energy is like really beautiful, but then I like this too with this like kind of solitary energy. And then over here, you know, we've got like this, it looks almost like outer space meets Earth, but almost feels like an underwater energy. It's so fucking powerful. It's so powerful. There's so many cool things happening. And also we've got water and then earth. So I don't know if that'll help some of you guys, you know, while you're trying to decide, or like, you know, just do me one favor. And if you do watch them all, remember and keep in mind that, especially for our newer people, you know, you may just be waking up right now and you found this channel and you were meant to find this channel because we're here to hold space for you. We're your grandmothers, you know, I mean, I started looking at the most of the anchors on this channel, and we are either grandmothers, like outwardly, like we are in our crone, or we are like grandmother spirits and like a young people. I had such a beautiful conversation with one of our tribe members yesterday, and or no, when was it? Tuesday, yeah, for their birthday, and just such a beautiful, magical creature, and you know, and for their age, they're just their energy and their knowledge is just so wise. It's like sometimes I just like want to sit and listen to them speak or listen to them talk because they have such a grounding, nurturing, like they were like in their Cancer energy. Oh, I'm getting the chills. 2121. And if you're new here, when I call out numbers, they could be repeating numbers that you're seeing. It could be mirrored, 1212 instead of 2121. I'm an oracle. I'm a medium. I'm a telepathic medium. So I see, hear, smell, taste things. It's just, I'm all encompassing. I don't really have a fucking title, man. I mean, I just say medium, but it's just, it's so much more than that. I'm an earth angel, yada, yada, yada. But you know, this connection that we have to each other is so beautiful and it's so strong. And I'm so grateful for you being here. And it does make sense that the main anchors of this channel are grandmother spirits because we are here to nurture. Also, I just saw this thing recently about this intuitive was talking about the divine feminines outwardly that have a lot of masculine energy in their chart. He goes, even to the men who have a lot of masculine in their chart, he goes, but definitely to the women. He said, it's a very interesting time for you. And I had just said that recently, that 70% of my birth chart is masculine and mostly fire. So it makes sense that, and my moon's in Scorpio, which is a water energy, and we're in Cancer energy, water energy. So I tend to flow really well from like Cancer to Leo, Scorpio to Sag, uh, Pisces to Aries, you know what I mean? And so it's very interesting how our energies flow. So remember that our celestial bodies are made up of, you know, so many different things too. So make sure you look at your chart. Like right now, I've been really feeling myself over the last like week or so, in so many ways. But no, just like feeling alive and feeling like me again. And then I realize I forget a lot that my Venus is in Capricorn, which is, to me, seems so odd considering my third deacon's in Leo. I'm a triple Sag, my moon's in Scorpio, and I can go on and on about my chart. But I was like, that's so interesting that my Venus is in Capricorn, because Venus is like our outwardly and like, you know, how we feel about ourselves. So, I've been feeling like pulling more things to post on my channel, on Lula's Labyrinth, of like, you know, me being a little more, you know, saucy and things like that. So, you know, when we really lean into our chart and lean into the energies, like today in the full moon energy, I really was feeling a group reading, but I was also feeling a picker reading. And when that happens, it's because Spirit wants me to push us to really lean into that. You know, we are made up of mostly water. Our bodies are 70% water. So if our human avatars are 70% water, the moon is pulled by the water. It makes sense that our bodies and our energy would flow better with the moon cycles. Yet we have these administrations and these places and these, you know, leaders in the world, 24/24, you know, that want to control things, and it's like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but like, this is not the time to do it, right? Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had astrologers and did things a certain way. I really wouldn't be surprised, because there were so many astrologers that were like in shock. They're like, Kamala should have won. Like, they're like, she should have won. It was rigged, blah, blah, blah. But we all know this, right? Like, that's the whole thing, is like, we needed him to go in there, whether we like it or not. We needed him to go in there and do this again. We needed these wars to happen. We need these floods to happen. We are in fucking Revelations. We are in Armageddon. This is it. It's just people are still waiting for something. And I want you to take a minute right now. And if you're driving, if you can, pull over, pause this, pull over. If you are doing something while you're listening to this, I want you to take a minute, and I want you to stop, and I want you to really hear me right now, because this is something that's so important that I want you to hear me right now, okay? Because this is coming from Spirit, and this is something that's been coming up for me a lot, and I've been sharing it, and I've been seeing the aha moments that people are having. In a lot of religions, religious texts, etc., they speak of a second coming or a first coming, right? The Jewish people do not believe that the Messiah has come. The Christians believe that Jesus told them he was coming back. But he never said, I'm going to come back in this avatar, look exactly like this, be this person, blah, blah, blah. Anything, at least this is what he told me, anything that's in text or whatever was either taken out of context, or remember that humans are fallible. Remember that humans like to control. Remember that even when humans want to help people, they don't mean to control, but they're doing it. So like, let's just say Jesus was standing on a mound and he was giving a talk, and there were like 50 people around him. I had this moment today, a new person. I'm going to put a link below in the description box. Always look in there for pearls and like more from Spirit. But this guy, I don't know their name and I don't want to quote it wrong, but they came into my orbit. I watched 2 of their videos back to back. I fell in love with them instantly. I had this connection with them that I have not had in a long time. But it felt like a Jesus prophet moment. Just the way everybody was sitting on like the ground too, and he was sitting on a chair, and like the way it was just really beautiful. It was just really beautiful. I made a shorts from something he said that Spirit doesn't want me to talk about right now. Look for it, and they will have me put a link in the description box, I'm sure. But I had this huge aha moment when Jesus came to me recently. And a lot of you know I've been working with Jesus for a very long time. One of the first mediums I ever worked with in-depthly over, 20 years ago now, 20 plus years ago. One of the first things she said was, Jesus wants to know why you've turned your back on him. And I literally got up and I was like, nope, I'm out. And she's like, wait, why? And she like came around. She's like, she's like, okay, I understand what's happening. She's like, but can you just, because when she first met me, she was like, oh my gosh, hi. She's like, I haven't seen you in so long. And we were hugging, and she was like, acting like we were best friends. And I'm like, so I was like, red flag number 1, you're a fucking phony, right? Because I always wanted to not believe in it. I did everything in my power not to believe in my gifts, believe in these outward forces, because I was literally working in government when I started my path back to this. So when I tell you that I fought everything against it, I did. But when she said, please let me finish, and then she said, your grandpa's here, and just everything she said, there was no fucking way. There was no way the things she said for my grandma and grandpa, who had passed in like maybe the last 5 years or whatever at that point when I got that reading. And she said nicknames, things that, yeah, she could have guessed it, but I mean, really good fucking guess. You know what I mean? And she said it in that kind of like where I know now, like, because what I am, like that Whoopi Goldberg moment where he's like, the blah, 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 blah. Remember in Ghost where she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, he says, blah, 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 or you're wearing the sweater or whatever. And like, she's through a door, and she's like, how the fuck would she know that? So those kind of things. But since that moment, Jesus asked me to start asking him for help and start seeking his knowledge and his wisdom so that I could grow. And then come like 10 years after that, I was working with another teacher, another shaman, same thing. So I have been working with Jesus since I was born. I went through the whole very right-wing Christian, Southern Baptist, Catholic, went through all that. So by that's what I'm saying. Like, I just wanted the fucking truth. I was tired of the bullshit. I knew fucking religion was fucking bullshit. So this is, everything that's happening right now is exactly what they said was going to happen. It's just that it was written by humans who wrote what they wanted to write, or wrote what they felt like they were supposed to write. Maybe they were trying to help too much. So here's the big part. And this is the part that if you haven't stopped driving or you haven't stopped doing your tasks, I want you to really listen to this. And I want you to hear me now. If you have found yourself to this reading right now, today, whenever you find it, even though in real time it's the full moon in Capricorn, July 10th, 2025, you can find this fucking 20 years from now. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm telling you right now, we are the second coming. And maybe you've heard this from other light workers. Maybe you've heard this from another reader. But Jesus wants you to hear him now. We are Christ consciousness. We have been brought here to do this. We have been doing this for lifetimes. We are co-creatively, co-collectively doing this all together. Wake up, look in the mirror, look in your eyes, and remember who you are and why you came here. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. Oh gosh, I love it when I look down. It's 3123. Okay. So, which is also the number 9. Which we are in a 9 year, 2025. So just hang in there. 2027 is an 11 year, and 11 is the number of the angels. We are going to get through this. Everything's going to happen, and people are going to die, and people are going to, whatever. Do you think it's an accident that a fucking flood went through a camp in America and took out Christian kids? You bet your fucking bippy. You bet your bippy. There's a lot of shit that's going to happen. They're denying climate change. They're denying blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I've been talking closely with Gaia for a long time, and she's been showing me I live in an area that's almost all volcanoes. And I realized the other day, I'm like, I'm fucking surrounded by volcanoes, not just mountains. They're volcanoes. They're volcanoes. They're volcanoes. There's been so much fucking activity under Mount Rainier, and they're like, oh, that's normal, that's normal, that's normal. But there's like one seismologist or whatever, I don't know if that's the name of their title, please correct me if I'm wrong. And I just got this fucking energy that I'm like, yeah, well, it doesn't have to necessarily be a volcano eruption. There's a lot of these like inner earth energies, Lemurians, whatever. Like, I don't know what's going to bust up out of these. I don't know what's happening, right? But the tectonic plates they're always moving, it's just earth. She's constantly moving. She's an organism. They don't want us to think of her that way, but she fucking is. So let them. And it's going to sound really like fucked up for some people right now. And if you lost anybody anywhere in the world, I am so sorry. My heart goes out to you. I feel your pain and suffering. I understand. But you are here. You must know that all of this is happening because it has to. These children gave their lives because they wanted to. This beautiful angel came into my orbit some time ago, and if Spirit calls me to, I'll put a link below to their channel. I think her name is Abby Moore, Abby something. Love them, love them, love them. They're doing their best to live as consciously as they can, and as closely connected to Gaia as they can. And I really dig their energy, and I feel like it would be really helpful too if you are new mothers, or even mothers that are like going through things with your children. She says some really wise shit, man. She's so young, and she has 2 young babies, but it's like she's always been this, you know what I mean? But it's like these babies just like woke it up out of her even more. Just some of the things that they say, they're just really profound. And I think right now the connections that we're having are so amazing, and I'm in gratitude for these vicious leaders and what they're doing, because they're just showing us the ugliness that we don't want here anymore. And you know what? They will eventually work themselves out. and just believe in magic and miracles. Keep saying, I believe in you, Spirit. I believe in magic and miracles. I believe in divine timing. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, divine timing. Thank you, magic and miracles. I am a millionaire. I have all of the things that I ever need and want. I have so much money to take care of myself and the world. You know, these kind of things, these affirmations, they're really important. We are working with the actual deck of the Moonology manifestation. That's what these are for. So without further ado, I'm getting the vibe from Spirit to just jump on in. So let me connect with them and see if we have any more messages. When I looked at the calendar, there's nothing on the calendar that they wanted me to put. They do want me to remind you of Sacred Sunday. I put it at the top of my channel now just to remind people. So every Sunday until they tell me otherwise, I will be going live at noon Pacific Standard Time on this channel. Every week is different for Sacred Sunday. We always go with whatever Spirit wants us to bring. And I'm realizing it's kind of funny because when I was a kid, I actually did look forward to church. I really did, because it was the time that everybody put their bullshit aside and we would all come together and we would, you know, go to church. Even if my dad went out drinking the night before, he would pull his shit together, you know, and we would go to church together. So, and then he didn't, you know what I mean? But it just, there was something sacred about Sunday. And I think that it's the ending and the beginning of the week. You know, a lot of people are still on, you know, the weekend warrior time and energy. Not everybody can make their own schedule anymore. A lot of companies realize that the health of their employees during COVID was a very pivotal time for the whole planet. It wasn't just one country, one race, one age group. It was the entire planet. It was a gift. It was a gift for us to redirect and realign our energy with ourselves and each other and the universe. So, you know, let this shit play out. But one of the things that Jesus showed me when I was looking at, I saw that there were 3 major floods. And the other thing that I thought was so interesting about these floods are these are places that are like desert. It's fucking July, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so many interesting things that are happening right now. So do your very best to align with Spirit, align with your own energy. And if you can, get out of the monkey mind. And we will go over to the readings. Okay, Spirit. Oh, also, you know how when we go live on Sunday, I have to just mute it? I got an email today from YouTube that there is a new feature. So there's some new features going on YouTube. I'm going to do some more investigating and find out if we want to do things a different way or a new way. So I'm always open, you know, I'm always open to like whatever Spirit wants to bring our way. And oh, they're asking me to pull this out to take a screenshot. Okay, because the lighting's much nicer now. The sun's coming out. Look at you guys are bringing the lighting with you. So what were we saying, Spirit? I don't know. It's kind of like just like left me after I did that. Okay, so I'm gonna pull in just a little bit closer. No. Okay. Okay. And okay, is there anything else that you would like me to say? It was like I was talking, this happens sometimes, and then it's just like gone. Is there anything else or any other channeled messages for the group or the collective that we have from anybody? Oh, that's what you're going to say. Okay. So they're saying it's like a modern day's Noah's Ark, right? Where they're like, we should have this warning. We have enough technology, right? Like Jasmine Crockett was like, this is my fucking state. Like, what's happening? Bill Nye, the science guy, is like, this is like ridiculous. Like, you know, he literally was on this interview with CNN and he's like, I just left the White House. I've been trying to like get them to understand like that these you know, the doctors and nurses are like pushing the government and they're saying, do you understand how many people will die if you take these places away? Because they don't like what they're doing is they're doing everything like war tactics. If you look at things like war tactics, you would totally understand how and why they're doing things the way they're doing them. It's very interesting. But it's divide and conquer, right? That's why they've segregated us. Abby was talking about that, right? Like we've come away from the community experience of like raising, you know, it's hard to raise a baby by yourself. It's hard to, you know, have many children at once and try and work. And you know what I mean? It's like they've been breaking us down and breaking us down for years. But all they've done is they think it's like, ha ha ha, we're breaking them down. But all they've done is make us fucking stronger, make us wiser, make us look at things differently. Now we're growing in numbers where we're like, I don't fucking think so. That's not going to happen. So all this darkness and shadow that's coming out there, like, make America great again. No, you're not making anything great again. You want to go back. You want to push people back into the closet. They did the same fucking thing right after when the age of Aquarius came in. We were having a massive, it wasn't just the hippies, it was the gay community. Everybody was done with this bullshit and hiding things, you know, under the carpet and keeping things in the closet and, you know, no-tell, you know, motel, like kind of bullshit. Like so in the 70s, that's when they created the gay man's disease, AIDS. It was created, by the way. And people say, oh, it came from this, it came from that. Let's put it this way. If it came naturally from the earth, then that's what was meant to happen. But they're the ones that labeled it. Man created the gay man's disease, which is why it was the first tattoo I got was of an AIDS ribbon. And people were like, you got a tattoo of an AIDS ribbon? I'm like, yeah. You know, and some people are like, the first thing was like, are you gay? Because it was 1995. And I was like, no, but so many of my friends are. And one of my very dear friends just lost his best friend, and his best friend just lost his house and lost everything because of this gay man's disease that, you know, his family, you know, took everything. He died. And even though he left everything to his partner, they paid a lot of money and lawyers. And long story short, it was just such a gross, like, abuse of power of people who shunned this man. They were rich, they had money, they were like kind of Rockefellers, you know what I mean? But had like kissed him off when he was like 26. When he died, he was like in his 50s. He did everything himself. He was a man-made millionaire, and his partner was like 28 years younger than him. And but they were together for like a long time, and he wanted him to have all that. And so long story short, I just saw so much abusive power, and I've seen enough abusive power, and a lot of us have seen enough abusive power, and we're like, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And he's been skirting around things. Oh, I'm the president, trying to do all these things, but his comeuppance is coming. Trust me when I tell you that, because I don't care if you're MAGA pro or against or whatever, but when that comes to be, and people start losing their friends and family because they can't fucking get to a hospital, they're hours away from a hospital, you'll see. And that's why they're doing it, because they don't want people to create their own food. They don't want people like myself living out of my own place. Like, you know, I'm in a tax bracket where it's like they can't do anything to me. They can't do anything to me. Now, when I get to a point to where I make enough money, I will pay taxes, right? But I'm not in a tax bracket. I don't even make $1,200 a month for them to even tax me, you know? And I don't use food stamps or anything. I work my fucking ass off. My partner works their ass off. Neither one of us, you know what I mean? It's like we do the best we can with what we have, and that's where we are right now, and that's what we're supposed to do. And for some of you, it's time for you to get off the fucking hamster wheel. It's time for you to let go and release this old world, because shit's gonna come and it's gonna trickle fucking down. It's gonna be the trickle down effect, and we're gonna see a lot of things happen at the third dimensional energy and people. And I mean, I literally said to my partner, I'm like, dude, did you see that it was a fucking Christian kid camp? I'm like, what is that shit? Like, that's nature, baby. That no human did that. Now, some people would be like, what God would do that? It's like, no, what angels would give their lives to prove, to be like, stop this fucking shit. Stop fucking shitting on Gaia. She's an organism. She doesn't want to be treated like this. Stop sucking and siphoning the life out of her. Gasoline worked for as far as it did. The plastics, all this shit, people are finding microplastics, and they're trying to say that, you know, vaccines are connected to autism. They're like, no, autism is connected to all the fucking chemicals and shit that have been ingested in the parents, and it's going into the bloodline. And you know what I mean? And these particles, these microplastics, and, you know, this is real fucking shit. This isn't fucking conspiracy theory, which I think I'm going to watch that today because it's free right now on YouTube. But I haven't seen it in years. I'm so curious to watch it now, so many years later. I'm actually really kind of excited to watch it today. But you know what I'm saying? Do you hear me? You feel me? So whatever these things are that you need to release them so you can get the fuck out of that world, because you don't live there anymore. You need to live in the fifth dimensional energy. Same for me. I'm surrounded by people who are that are like in the middle, right? And that's why I was wanting to leave, because I was like, but then I realized, I'm like, I put myself here and I will take myself out when it's time. But right now, this is what I have to do. This is where I am not, excuse me, this isn't what I have to do. This is what, oh, thank you, Spirit. When I looked down, it was 44. This is what I get to do. This is what I get to do. This is my blessing. I get to do this. I get to help these people, this family. I get to help my landlord. I get to help this land. I get to help the traffic that's coming by here and send prayers. And you know what I mean? Earlier I did a video for Lula's Labyrinth because there was like a huge thing going on outside on the freeway. The traffic was all backed up. So I was like, I don't know if there was an accident. I don't know what happened, but I just heard Spirit was like, I literally just woke up. I didn't even get to splash water on my face. My skin looks dry as fuck. And I was like, can I just do another video and like, just like look kind of perky and pretty? They're like, no, they're like, just fucking put it out there right now. So, right now is right now. We don't have yesterday. We don't have tomorrow. We have right now. And right now is what counts. And if we want more of, the beauty and light and love that is part of us. And, Rumi says what we are seeking is seeking us. My last podcast, Prophet, I was telling you guys the story about like my childhood trauma and stuff. And I was like trying to urge you to work through it. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link below or just check it out. But it's really powerful. We cannot look away anymore, my loves. I love you so much, but I'm going to get real in these readings. I can feel it. Okay. So is that it? Do you have anything else you want me to say before we move on to the readings? Okay. All right. I will see you over at reading 1. And I'm going to be doing this like I've done before, where I'm just going to kind of go reading 1, reading 2, reading 3. Of course, I'll pause in between, for the timestamps for everybody. And so I can set up, each altar and everything. But if you, want to stay here, get yourself some healthy food and some healthy something nice to drink. No more treats, by the way, you guys. Don't be like, oh, I want Doritos. If you want Doritos, there are a lot of companies that make chips that taste just like fucking Doritos, and they're so much better than that. They're made with so much better ingredients. You can trace their ingredients, do the research, and you know what? They're the same amount of money as you'd spend on those Doritos, okay? The bag might be a little bit smaller. That means we don't need as much, okay? I've been working with this, so I just want to put that out there for somebody too, okay? So I will be back in just a moment, and we will be starting with reading 1. All right, I love you. And if you're not going to watch the other readings, thank you for being here. Thank you to our OGs. We love you so much, our original tribe members, and welcome again to our new tribe members. And I'll see you over at your reading. All of my information is in the description box. Blessed be. Oh, love you. Bye. Welcome, reading 1. I just said, should I ring the bell? And then the chimes started going. We just had the group reading, or the group, I don't know if it's really a reading so much as an informative update, but I just wanted you to be aware that I'm going to ring some bells. Well, a bell, but it has different tones. So if you have it up really high, I just wanted to let you know, some of you really love it when it's high and you like that sound, but others, I just want to prepare you, okay? So here I go. Also, look at how beautiful your altar is. It's so pretty. Your cards. Oh. So welcome, reading 1. We're opening the portal for reading 1. What messages do they need to hear from Spirit today? What needs releasing? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to say goodbye to? Okay, so if you chose this reading, you chose the full moon in Pisces, and the energy is forgive. Interesting that they had me pull all the cards together, because I feel like they want me to fan them out like this, because they had me pull them. I didn't see them either, but look at how pretty they are. They had me fan them out. I don't know what they are. I knew what the cover one was. Oh my gosh, look at that. I didn't do that. Oh my, I mean, I did it, but like, you know, I do things with my eyes closed. It's funny when people will be like, what do you mean you didn't do that? I'm like, I mean, like, I didn't do that. So Spirit, we're going to go one card at a time. Okay. I'm feeling some channeled messages, but they're whoever they are, they're so polite. They're asking me if they can come through. So let's get grounded. Let's get centered. This feels like a family member. I feel very much like a grandmother energy. I feel like Betty White. Like I'm seeing like the Golden Girls, that kind of energy. So it could be that you had a connection to this person with the Golden Girls. Oh, it's kind of making me emotional because I've been seeing a lot of Golden Girls things lately, and I had a connection with my mom for that. So I even said, I'm like, you know, I never know when these are my readings too. My throat chakra is getting really tight. Oh, I feel like somebody cry, cry, cry. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing cry. Please cry. Please cry. Please cry. I'm literally like, if I could even put you inside my body right now to know how much that you need to cry. And I'm getting like this Cameron Diaz in The Holiday. If you've never seen it, please watch it. Christmas in July. Seriously, Cameron Diaz in The Holiday, when she's in the cab and she's trying to cry, and they're like, you haven't cried? She's like, no, I haven't cried since my parents died when I was like 11 or something like that. I don't remember, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And she's like trying to make herself cry and and she can't fucking cry. And then finally, when something really sad happens, she finally cries. So watch a movie, do a Golden Girls marathon, like whatever you need to do to release this energy. And I'm saying this to myself too, right? Like, because this could be my mom came in, so I can't tell if my mom came in. She was a grandmother when she was a great grandmother when she passed, actually. You know, so I'm just feeling this energy that forgiveness is really hard for you. This part I know isn't for me because, oh, listen to me. Listen to my fucking sass and my ego come out my mouth. 5146. And if you're new here, and when I spout out numbers, 51 could be an age, 46 could be an age. They could be mirrored, 15, 60, you know, 4. You know what I mean? It could be the whole numbers together as an angel number. I mean, so anyway, but it was very like, really like in my face. So that's for somebody. Wow, this feels really heavy, you guys. It's different when it's my medicine too, because it's not all my medicine, and I have to, in seconds, have to try and decide. But it's okay. I mean, you know, it's not about me, but it's about me. You know what I mean? It's about all of us. Like reading one, this is about all of us. But also for the collective, I mean, we've been getting these messages from Spirit for a while. You know, so forgiveness might be something that has just been really difficult for you. I just heard no book today. Okay, so I'm going to go right. My eyes went right to this card. Open up to change. New moon in Aquarius. You know, there was an Aquarius symbol in reading too. So on their cover card. So if you were feeling in any way, shape, or form, if you were drawn to the Aquarius energy, which is water, they're the water bringer. It's ironic, you know, Aquarius, maybe you're an Aquarius, maybe dealing with an Aquarius. The Aquarius energy is so interesting because it's an air energy. Astrologically, Aquarius is air. However, they call them the water bringer. It's a very divine feminine energy. So it could be like this is a message for you to like soften up. Maybe it's to go more with the flow, because you also chose this card. You know, you may be a Pisces, maybe you're dealing with a Pisces, but also, I mean, look at that beach right there. I mean, and it has a very like Cancer vibe. I mean, even though we're in the full moon in Capricorn, it's the Cancer season. And look at, you know, remember that the moon is what rules water, right? Like water energy is ruled by the moon. In fact, like every astrological sign has, something, and Cancer's is the moon, literally. So it could be that, like, Spirit is really asking you to open your heart and forgive. Oh my gosh, look at how cute they are. I mean, look at how this looks like from my drape. Like, it looks like it's going like right into like the fish, like the green. So maybe they're trying to get you to get connected in nature. Maybe go to the beach or go to like the woods with a river or both. I live in a place where I can do both, and I've really been feeling like I need to do something. I need to do something. So I'm getting the vibe that maybe this is for you too, is to really get deeply connected to Earth right now. For some of you, I'm hearing your head is in the clouds, like, and I'm not hearing it in a negative, like, get your head on the clouds. You know what I mean? Like, like that can be very aggressive. It doesn't feel like that at all. I'm hearing like, get your head out of the clouds in terms of like the air energy of Aquarius, where everything's dreamy, right? Like I literally like knew somebody who was an Aquarian who changed their name to Dreamy because it is it's like such a dreamy, energy. And also Aquarius comes before Pisces. So interesting that here Pisces came first. So maybe you're retreating back into shadow and they're trying to say you don't need to do that anymore, right? Like, because it's like you're going backwards, but you're not open to change. And the only way that you're going to really change, and I'm hearing for a lot of you, it's about changing your path, changing your course, changing your direction, anything, to changing your underwear, as silly as that sounds, going commando because you don't really like underwear. I haven't worn underwear or I haven't worn a bra or underwear in like so many years. Sometimes once in a while I will for like a special occasion, or if it's like something, where I know that I'd be more comfortable wearing a bra or underwear, then I will. Like, I keep a few around in case I need them, but I don't really. And I feel more comfortable. I feel more like myself, And I remember I was telling my one friend, and TMI to the guys, just, it is what it is, right? But it's not TMI because I just know some straight men, and I'm having my own experience, but I've had some straight men who are like, oh, I don't want to know that much. I'm like, so you love women and you love having sex with them, whatever, but you don't want to know what they have to deal with on a daily basis? Or no, I don't want to know. It's like, well, maybe you should. But anyway, I was saying this to one of my friends, and she was like, oh dude, I have to wear underwear. She goes, I actually have to wear underwear, and I have to wear, she goes, I wear like panty liners like all the time. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, I'm just naturally juicy, And they're like, it's very normal. It's a very natural thing. And then I started to see this more and more and more. And then I started reading up about more studies and why people have, this and that breast cancer is linked to, all of the products that women use. And they've been basically killing women more than men, because a lot of men don't use these products, or like maybe they have one, old English leather or something that they wear all the time. That's my dad. I'm really dating myself right now. I'm in my 50s, but I don't know. Is that still a thing? But anyway, I mean, there's, to this day, if somebody walks by me with that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, Dad, and when I was in high school, when Obsession came out, everybody wanted it. Or Opium. I wore Opium. Opium was my thing. Obsession was everybody else. I was wearing Opium because it was forbidden. You know what I mean? Like, just like totally like a different version, But when you think about it, it's like, it's not funny though, because if all of these women, these beautiful, juicy creatures are wearing panty liners that have chemicals in them, and they're wearing tampons and putting chemicals inside themselves. You know what I mean? We're wearing chemicals in our bras and polyesters and these man-made. If it's not made from real fibers, it's made from chemicals. It's just simple math. It's just simple math. When I was in college, I was sickened. When I had, I literally took a course on textiles. You have to. Like, I took a full course, a semester on textiles. It was one of the best classes I ever took. I loved my professor. We became friends. We were only a few years apart because, I went back in my late 30s. And I was in fashion design, and I learned so much about that, So we don't realize just how much we need to change about our lives, and finding out ways that are researching it, You know, period panties became a thing where people are like, oh my gosh, that sounds so gross. It's like, why does it sound gross though? Like if it's, you know, but then I was like, is it chemicals? Because I don't want to put chemicals on my body. So yeah, it's an interesting fucking world right now. And we have to forgive it. And we have to forgive ourselves. Somewhere we all co-created this. We wanted the experience. We wanted the knowing. I mean, in the group reading, I was talking about what's going on with the sitting American president and all these leaders and just like astrologically, you know, what's happening. I mean, whether they want to look at things or not, and about all the retrogrades. And I mean, these things are happening for us, not to us. They're happening for us. We need to see all the grossness, the fakery, the fuckery. We need to see it. We need to see how gross we've become. We need to see what we have grown together. A lot of us have this, we have a hard time forgiving ourselves. If you really want to make a change in your life, start with yourself. Drink some water. Forgive yourself for everything you've done, for everything you've said, for everything you've been through, for everything you've had to endure. If you have found yourself here, you are a light worker of some kind. If not, you are a supporter of light workers. And you're awakening to your gifts, to your heart space, to your heart chakra. That is what's happening. Do you think that any administrative or public official, if they ever suffered through things themselves, do you think that they'd put another person through it if their heart chakra was open? It's no accident that this deck wanted to come in today. It's got such a feminine softness about it. Look at your cards. Look at those pastels, those soft colors, the beautiful flow of these, I think they're koi fish. And then even over here, we've got like, almost like, it looks like cherry blossoms or something. Which is very interesting too, because there could be some, maybe you have a past life or maybe current life attached to some Asian structure or some Asian belief system. You have a full moon of forgiveness and you have a new moon of open to change. So let's see what number 3 has to say. Oh, and it's in reverse. Interesting. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius. Practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. I'm so happy where I live. I live in the lavender capital of the United States. And when I saw the lavender started coming in, I almost cried. I'm so excited. The Lavender Festival is like a week from Saturday in real time. It's always the third Saturday in July in Squim, and it's just really cool. It's one of the coolest things ever, actually. So last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. This is something so special. I also love that, look at how we had this very water energy, and then we had this like, this looks like water too. Do you see this? It looks like a coastal, like, this feels like water to me. So I feel like we've got water, and then we've got desert. So that tells me, like, you know, this is where, this is all about release, right? But also what we need to celebrate. So forgiveness is something we have to work on and release judgment on others, release judgment on ourselves, right? Open to change, release those blockages that are stopping you from all of your dreams and wishes that are just new moon, that they want to come out. Also, I'm hearing for some of you, it's like this wants to be out. So did you see that? It's like my hand wouldn't stop. That was really wild. The reason why they did that is because for some of you, literally by the new moon in Aquarius, you're going to have, your life is going to be so changed. You're going to laugh. And for those of you who don't have money, you're going to come into, I just got the chills. You're going to come into such a flux of money that you're going to be like, holy fucking shit. And for some of you, I feel like it's going to feel like it's overnight, but it's not. It's going to be years and years and years of work, and maybe behind the scenes that maybe work nobody even knows about. And then it's going to seem like to some people that it's going to happen overnight, but it's not. Because as long as you keep practicing gratitude, the last quarter moon in Sagittarius, I mean, there's Sagittarius, and look at where the full moon in Capricorn. So we've got Sagittarius, the full moon in Capricorn now, the full moon, or excuse me, the new moon in Aquarius, and then the full moon in Pisces. And it's gonna come full circle, you know, like the yin and yang of Pisces, of the fish. It's gonna come full circle because you're gonna finally figure things out and balance it. But your gratitude is the most important. Also, for some of you, I feel like the desert is your home. This is where you belong. And for some of you, it feels like the desert right now, but it's gonna be good. Just hang in there. Just hang in there. And for some of you, it may even feel like by the time, look at that, looks like a planet. For some of you, the last quarter moon in Sagittarius is gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, when is it gonna come? When is it gonna come? When's it gonna happen? And then boom, it's gonna be the end of the year, the holidays, all that stuff. And then by the time, and this is feeling like January Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? Like the end of January. So this is less than a year away. Now, this isn't gonna be for everybody, right? This dance ain't for everybody, only the sexy people. And I mean, like, you know who you are, like, wherever you are in your process. Just forgive yourself. Work with lavender. Lavender is very calming, very soothing. Let me see if they want, do we want to read anything from the book, or do you want to give them any mantras or affirmations or manifestations from the book? Do you want me to put anything out on the channel in the posts, the community section, or shorts? Okay. Do we have any more messages for reading 1 at this time? Okay, you guys, those are your messages. I hope they helped you in any way. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other, and all of my information's in the description box. I love you. Spirit loves you. We'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, reading 2. Welcome to your full moon in Capricorn reading. So today we are asking Lilith, our beautiful moon goddess, what it is that we need to release and let go of so that we can move forward and enjoy our lives more thoroughly. I was very excited about yours. They were very particular how we set up your altar. So I feel like we have a lot of scryers on board. Welcome to our scryers. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I love you. Love you all, no matter what. But you know what I'm talking about when I say scryers. So scrying means that when you look at something, you see more than the object is. Meaning, like, for instance, this is, if you look at it, there's a lot of things going on inside of it, right? But if you put it down, if you set it down, you might see, sometimes people say when you look into a crystal ball, like you'll see things, right? Like, what do you see? What do you see? And there are no wrong answers, and feel free to comment below. You can just say reading 2, clock. Reading 2, I mean, the obvious is flower, but still, if you see a flower, tell us what you see. But you see there's like a whole other universe in there. When you go like that, you see so much through it, right? But when you turn it, all you see is my finger in there. And then the obvious, when you look in it or you look under it even, you can see that there's something in there, but can you see beyond what you see? Do you see a man with a mustache? You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean to look from, like, look at, there's a little heart. I see a little heart to the bottom right by my thumb. Do you see that? There are no wrong answers, because it means you're seeing with your third eye. You're seeing beyond the obvious. You're seeing beyond what's in front of you. So let's find out what you have to release. So far, when I pulled the cards, Spirit only had me pull multiple cards for reading 1 and reading 2. Reading 3, it was only 1 card, but sometimes they do that because there may be cards from the other readings that are pulled into it. Let me see if Spirit has any more cards that they want me to pull for you. There are some cards behind, as you can see, but I just want to see if they want me to pull any other cards as well. Spirit, are there any more cards in this deck that you want us to pull for reading 2 to help align their story for them to understand. I got that. See, that's what I mean. So this is from reading 1, Forgive. Maybe you were drawn to reading 1. If you were drawn to reading 1 as well, finish watching this because you were obviously brought here first, and then go back and watch that. Unless you are strongly pulled to this and you're like, man, I really wanted to read that one first, then go there. Sometimes it does make a difference to have one medicine before the other, right? Right? Depending, it's like anything. If you put certain things together, they may chemically react, not in the right way, but if you do them this way or that way, right? Food's the same way too. I'm hearing for some of you, you think you have food allergies, and Spirit's saying it could be the order that you're eating your food, or it could be the food that you're eating. Both things, you're not allergic to them, but when you put them together, they chemically react a certain way in your tummy. Do you understand? So if you have certain foods that you have allergies to, try and eat them by themselves. Or it's sometimes the opposite. There are, like, for some reason, I was like really like, well, I know now as, what I am now. But when I was younger, I thought that I couldn't have dairy. But then I started to realize that I could have dairy, I just couldn't have dairy with this food or that food. Or I could have dairy if I ate it with this food, right? Because certain foods will kind of bond together and like they'll digest better and more easily. That's why pickles are really good for your gut, and sauerkraut. And if you do pickles and sauerkraut together, it really your stomach's like, I love you, right? The probiotics that help, take out those impurities. So just that's a side note. I don't know who that's for, but I feel like that's somebody. It's like, investigate further, because sometimes doctors, when they don't know, they'll just be like, well, I don't know, it must be blah blah blah, and but they don't really know, or they'd have to do a battery of tests and you don't have them. Also, when I looked down earlier, I saw 111 of 00, and then when I looked down again, I just saw 11111. So if you're new here, you may be an earth angel. If you've been coming here for a while, I'm pretty sure you're earth angels, you guys. Like, that's the irony. That's the irony. Oh, someone just said that's irony. That's the energy that I'm getting. Also, I have such a tight in my throat chakra. If you don't belong here, can you please leave? 1144. If you're not ready for this, then you're not ready for this. But, I'm feeling a lot of pushback and somebody that's just not ready yet. And 1144, I feel like you keep seeing that number, but I feel like you need to work more with something, and maybe they're pushing you away because they're like, you need to go to reading 1. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they're like, you think you were meant to come here, but they're like, go to reading 1, go to reading 1, go to reading 1, because they're not having me say anything about the word under there right now. First quarter moon in Aquarius, trust the universe. Okay, have you noticed that we haven't even shown your card yet? Don't you think that's interesting? I do. I was just like, we haven't even shown their card yet. They're like, we will. I'm like, oh, okay. So we must have a lot of Aquarius in this group, or maybe you are an Aquarius, or you are dealing with an Aquarius, or it could be the Aquarius energy where your whatever is going on is happening. Okay, there's so many things going on. Everybody needs to calm down, calm down. Wow, this is such a different energy from reading 1. It's so different. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're so happy that you're here. We love you so much for being here. If you're on the other side, pull back. You need to pull back. Stop pushing through my throat chakra. If you're on this earth plane, if you're not ready for this, or if you're in a heavy energy, low dense vibration, come back later, okay? This isn't a bitch slap. This is just a loving spirits. Remember that I'm human here, and I'm holding a lot of different energies. I'm not just holding my energy, my guides, whatever. I've got all your stuff, I feel like they're sending attackers here. It's happening on my right side of my throat. So it could be, I was feeling this yesterday too. And I just went to bed early. I'm like, am I getting sick? It felt kind of weird. So if you're getting sick, this is a nod from spirit that it's because you need to change a lot of shit. Okay, can we go to it now? Because I know what it is. Because you need to be real. You need to be real about who and what you are. And for some of you, it's time for that solo trip out in nature. Full moon in Aquarius. So that's very interesting. The next moon is going to be the full moon in Aquarius. So I'm hearing for some of you, it's time for you to get out in nature. Plan a trip. So this is the full moon in Capricorn. The next full moon will be the full moon in Aquarius, unless it's a blue moon, but I don't know if it is. They're not having me pull out my calendar. But whenever this is, the next, and I mean the next. So in the next month, like a month from today, I'm hearing no excuses. No, I don't care if it's even just overnight by yourself. Obviously, be safe, be careful, know what you're doing, know where you're going. Don't be a novice hiker or camper and just like go out, right? You know, obviously, Spirit would want you to put yourself in peril. But at the same time, I'm getting the vibe that you really need to do it alone. Because look at, they're alone there and they're alone here. And we got full moon in Aquarius and first quarter moon in Aquarius. Be real. Trust the universe. I feel like for some of you, the reason why they're saying be real is because one of your biggest things that you need to release is living half your life in like, so I'm getting, okay, now this can just be from one person, okay? So I'm just going to put this out there, insert your own story. So this is what they're showing me. They're showing me that like in your work, your family, your friends, like when you go to work, it's third dimensional energy. When you go to a family gathering, it's third dimensional energy. When you hang out with your friends, it's a third dimensional energy. They all love you. They know this is you, but they just take this as you being you. Maybe you're being flighty. Maybe you're, you know, you're granola girl. We used to, my one friend, that was her nickname, was granola girl, right? Like, but nobody meant anything negative about it. It was like, we all loved her, right? But when you look back on it, it's like, they were kind of, because they're just like, oh, you're not like us. And that's what the third dimensional really just comes down to, is that they're too afraid to see who they really are. They want to, you know, look at us. We all have fake lips. Look at us. We all have fake. We're all plastic. We're all, you know what I mean? And I'm just talking about, they just showed me the Amazon wedding. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, and that's okay. They could be wonderful, loving, beautiful human beings. I mean, look at Dolly Parton, right? Like Dolly Parton is like the epitome of like fake plastic surgery, whatever, but she's also like the most magical, beautiful. And it's like, that's what she wants to look like. If she wants to look like that and she feels beautiful, then who's to fucking say? But there's a difference between looking a certain way because it makes you feel beautiful, or looking a certain way because you want to keep up with the Joneses. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's where they're saying it's time for you to fucking be real. If you want to be that, then be that. You know, no one's going to judge you for that, right? Like, I mean, someone would call me granola girl, but there was a time where somebody would have looked at me. I mean, my nickname was Barbie. I had a lot of friends who would be like, oh my God, here comes Barbie, you know, because I had like white blonde hair and blue eyes and tan and big red lips and fake nails. I mean, I look like a fucking Barbie doll. And I used to wear big push-up bras and a tiny waist and a big booty. I mean, I was like a little Barbie doll, except for I was, you know, under 5'3", you know. But you know, but I don't align with that persona anymore. But I bought some hair color in recent months, and I know when the time comes, I'm gonna do it. But right now, this is where I'm at. So be where you are, meet yourself where you are, not an old version of yourself. And if you are not aligning with your friends and family, it's time for you to, like, you know, some people are like, I feel like I can handle it. I'm like, if you feel like you can handle it, then do that. But it's interesting because I have a lot of people who will say to me, oh yeah, I got it under control. I got it under control. I got it under control. And then like, they'll like tell me certain things or whatever. And I'm like, so you don't have it under control. You are controlling the situation. There's a difference between controlling a situation and actually having something under control. Under control means like, I'm cool. Like, yeah, that doesn't affect me anymore. Like, and you can see that it genuinely doesn't affect somebody anymore. And then you can, you know, you look at somebody else who's like in a situation where you can see it's affecting them, but outwardly to everybody, it looks fine because you're wearing a mask. But it's draining, and we need your energy for, you know, other things. These people, you have to remember, you have to keep going to where they are. How about they start meeting you halfway? Why don't they fucking meet you where you are? And if they are, then keep them in your life, you know? Oh, I'm hearing ring the bell. Somebody needs this. Cover your ears if you don't like it. It's time to banish that energy. Let it go. Trust the universe. Trust that they have better for you. And also remember something, you guys. Yes, there are blood and bone. And yes, we are grateful for everything they've done and all that wonderful things. But at the same time, there are other people that are like you that need you too. And you guys could be building each other up instead of going to a place where you don't feel like yourself. You always feel like you have to be a certain way or a certain person to be loved, to be liked, to be just tolerated. I mean, that's one of the last things I said to my mom. I was like, I can no longer just be tolerated. I can't fucking stand it. And I said, whether you believe in what I am or you don't, I am a telepathic fucking medium. So I can feel that they don't want me there. I can hear that they don't want me there. And I can see, even if I didn't have these gifts, it's obvious, just energetically, they do not want me here. So why do I keep going here? Don't. Stop. Be who you fucking are. Not who somebody wants you to be. You have to be real. You will never attain your dreams and your goals if you keep fucking faking it. And the thing is, Spirit's like, do you think that they don't know? And then think of it that way. They would rather you fake it and be that way so they don't have to change. Spirit had me do this shorts, and let's just put it this way. There's a lot of stuff in the description box. Check it out. Go look at it if you're drawn to it. But the shorts is so good. I was like, oh my gosh. And it came from a guy. I'm going to put a link to his channel. A new person just came into my orbit. I say, guy, I don't know anything about them yet. But this person just came into my orbit, and they're really, 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 really powerful. And they said something about confrontation, and they said it perfectly. I don't know if I'll remember it, so if I'm paraphrasing, but hopefully you'll get the gist. He spoke of a client, a friend, or somebody that they don't like confrontation, so they go out of their way to not deal with confrontation. And then he goes, yeah, but look at all of that energy. You're putting out all this energy not to have a confrontation, but isn't that a confrontation? You know what I mean? But he says it's so much better. I did it with the moon, because the moon was coming to me a few nights ago in such a cool, magical way. And I'm glad, because last night we had a storm and I couldn't see anything. So I had a feeling she was talking to me. I took so much video. Lilith was really seriously talking to me a few nights ago. So, you know what I mean? It's we do so much to avoid, and that's part of that's wearing a mask, really. Do you know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. So then that means that most of your life, unless you're home, and then if you're at home and you're doing it too, then it's then what fucking safe space do you have? Where do you go to get to be yourself? In nature? Walking down the street? But your home is your literally your sacred space, your sanctuary. That is it, man. That is your fucking, that's it. So if you are not at least at home living your truest self in every form, it must change today from this moment forward. And if the people don't like it, they can fucking eat dirt, I'm sorry. It's that's bullshit. You deserve better. Look at you reaching up to the stars, up to the, also look at the sacred geometry going on right there. That's really beautiful. Oh, I just got the chills. Trust the universe. For some of you, you're not sure what to do for a job, sacred geometry. Maybe you already work with numbers. Maybe you are an organizer. Maybe you're, sacred geometry is so fucking cool. It's one of those things, I know of it. I understand what I understand of it in my consciousness level, but it's, it's a very deep, profound subject. But if you're drawn to it, or the Akashic Record, that may be something that you might want to look into. So now that we have this energy, I'm feeling this card coming out behind it. So because it's peeking out, I'm going to that one first. Last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather. So that's a week from today. Also, there are so many planets. The parade of retrograde planets has begun. Mercury's going retrograde on the 17th, which I believe might actually be, is it next Thursday? Yep. So the third quarter moon is a week from today. Now, always these in real time. You know what I mean? This is just real time right now when I'm doing it, okay? But it's timeless. If you watch this 10 years from now, it's still these messages would apply, but obviously the astrology and timelines would change. But a week from today, take a fucking breather. So maybe they're saying for some of you, you need to take a vacation. You need to go somewhere. You need to, you know what I mean? Now listen, I just heard, whoa, back it up, because Mercury goes retrograde next week. So I'm hearing a home vacation. This Mercury retrograde is going to be a doozy because there's so many other planets in retrograde, and because of what's happening and the destruction and the downfall of the patriarchy that are, you know, they're not oblivious to it. They're just fighting fucking hard for it, right? So also, I know that the 69 is like a version for Cancer. I'm feeling like that's an angel number for somebody. I know it's a fun sexual position for somebody, but and that could be for you too. But I'm also seeing 69. So work with the number 69. For those of you who are new here, whenever I spout off numbers, that's for you to look into whatever search engine that feels good to you, and you just research 69. Angel numbers, you know, spiritual meaning, whatever comes up in your mind, okay? But I'm hearing take a breather. So the last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather. You know what? I'm actually meant to have a phone conversation with another light worker on this day, and I'll have to sit with Spirit and see if we need to reschedule, because there's a lot coming up. Because look at the week after that. Okay, so here, I'll just put this here. So here's the Mercury's gone retrograde, third quarter moon, but then we've got Leo season coming in. And then a few days after that, we have the new moon in Leo. And then, what did you say? Oh, and then this is an important day for somebody, because in our third quarter moon reading in June, we spoke about, what is that? I can't even read my own writing. Third quarter moon, is that reflection? I don't know what that says above June, but if they have me put it in there, I will. If not, you know, whatever. But anyway, I'm just hearing like until the new moon, like this whole week, it's going to be busy. So if you can, take your vacation during this time. Maybe have a staycation. Just chill the fuck out. Or do something that you really wanted to do, that you want to do if you want to do it. But don't put any pressure on yourself. I've been trying to clean out these 2 closets forever. And then the other day, just out of fucking nowhere, I just had the energy. I got up and I did it. And I loved that I didn't like kind of plan it. Because once it was done, I was like, I said to myself like 3 times, I'm so proud of you for doing that today. I'm like, that's so awesome you did that today. We need to give ourselves those accolades, you know, to say like, I did really good. I'm so proud of myself. And I kept saying, I'm so proud of myself. I got that done. And it was interesting too, because I told my partner, I was like, I finally got to that project I've been wanting to do. So it could be for some of you, you know, to keep it, just take a breather. Also, for some of you who don't know, I do Sacred Sunday, and they're going to have me do it every Sunday until they tell me not to. So every Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time, I will be going live. Okay, so it's an awesome time to check in with the community. It's a time for us to come together as one, ask questions of Spirit. You know, I never know what it's going to be about, right? It's like church, right? It's like our form of church. But it's a nice way for us to come together as a community. Okay. So interesting. So take a breather. And, you know, those of you who have been with me a long time, you know, Spirit rarely has me like do timelines for things, but lately they've been having me do more with things. And I think it's just because there's so much happening that people are like, but I've been waiting for so long. I've been waiting. And how much longer do I have to wait? You know, and Spirit's like, I know, it's because in human years, sometimes it feels like you've been waiting forever, especially like, you know, like for myself, I've had a dream of being a star. I always saw myself famous. I always saw myself wealthy. I always saw that. And then I remember having this breakthrough in my 20s with my friends, and we were really fucking stoned. And I just started like spewing off all this shit. And then I remember, and almost all of it has come to fruition. And so one of the things I said was, I just have this feeling I'm going to be really famous when I'm in my 50s. I said, when I'm like 55, I feel like I want to be like really, really famous. Like like, and it's going to be like just for being myself. And I go, I don't know how to explain it. And like, and I didn't even know what I was back then. I was just having like a moment where I was like, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I was like, when you're so high that you don't question it and you're just like fucking having an epiphany and you're like, I'm just going to go with this. And I always saw me giving back. I always saw me giving and helping and, you know, doing things and taking care of people. And so, you know, it doesn't make me a failure because I didn't make it when I, you know, started in my teens and everyone's like, oh, you're going to be a star. Instead, it just had me for years thinking what a fucking loser I was. Instead, I'm not a loser. I've been in life college. I've been literally like, I've been training for this for 50 fucking years, you know? It's all in the way you look at it. I could live to be 140. And if that's the case, it's like, I'm in the first like part of my life, like the first third of my life. I'm not halfway. I'm a third through. I'm 50. I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. I'm 53, but you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so that's interesting. So take a breather. And what's back here? Last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. Nice. Now, why I love this so much is that I neglected to put in here that we're also going into the Lionsgate portal. So once we go into the Lionsgate portal during Leo season, everything's going to be like amping up, right? Until we get to, I did put a heart here, right? For the 8/8 portal. And this one's going to be a doozy and a lot of shit's going to happen. So yeah, look at full moon in Aquarius. I don't know if I looked at something. Oh yeah. Also, it's going to be very auspicious. Is that the word I'm looking for here? Because on the 22nd, it's literally like it's going from Leo to Virgo, but it's technically still like, because of the way that the degrees fall. This is so interesting. I was watching this astrology thing. We're going to have 2 new moons in Virgo, and it's going to end up fucking everything crazy because we got another new moon in Virgo in September 21st, which I didn't go to this month yet, but right, but we're going to go into Libra season right here, right? But because it pushed it forward, look at how far ahead it's going to be. So where is it? So this would be our new moon. The new moon in Libra is October 21st. That's so wild. It's like everything kind of gets reset. The new moon in Scorpio is going to be the 19th, but look at, it's like right Sag. It's like right on the cusp of it. And then same thing. It'll be the new moon in Sagittarius will be towards the end, right when we're about to switch over to Capricorn. So it's a very interesting time. Very interesting time. And also Spirit had me put hearts on things that were going to be significant to us, but they weren't going to tell us yet. So if you saw hearts in there. So see what I mean? Like the next 6 months are going to be really, really, and for you guys with the Aquarius energy, definitely, you know, the next 7 months really, right? So July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So like 7 to 8 months, because we're like, you know, a third of the way into July. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So they're saying, so the last quarter moon in Leo will be the 15th of August. And you know what's so great about that? Mercury's going to go direct on the 10th of August. So a month from today, Mercury will be going direct. So it may be really intense over the next, oh, I just got the chills. It may be really intense over the next month, but just know that like things will lighten up. And just keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. And when it starts to get tough, remember, you chose this for yourself, you know? If you chose this pile and you were here, I mean, listen, or this reading, and it's going to be different for everybody, but they're saying, trust the universe, though. Just trust the universe. Look at how both of them are holding it. And look at how this looks like a child. This is so fucking interesting. This looks like a child, and this looks like, this feels like the maiden and the mother. For some of you, you're going to, over the next month, get in there, get at it. And especially at the end of this Cancer energy, use it, man. Use it to fucking cry. You need to cry. You need to watch The Holiday. If you want a good cry, watch The Holiday. If you haven't seen it before, watch The Holiday. And it's so good. It's a Christmas movie, but it has Kate Winslet and Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, oh, what's Pretty Blue Eyes? I can't think of his name right now. actor, British. I can see his face, but I can't. Also, I know that it's like, duh, you know, it's just the card, they're all alone. But look at how all of these cards are literally alone. And look at how they're doing different things too. And maybe for some of you, you don't have access to this kind of nature, but they're like, then go in the ocean, at least go up to here. You know, I personally, I've had too many things happen to me in the ocean. It's just not for me at this. Maybe there'll be a point in this lifetime where I will, you know, maybe it's something from a past life, whatever. But I've almost drowned and almost died so many times by water in this lifetime, and a triple fire, my moon's in water. It's a very interesting experience. But one time I was just like this, and I was just having a good time with my friend, and out of nowhere these fucking waves came in, because it's the ocean, right? It's like 1 minute it's fine, the next minute the fucking wind turns, that's it. And before I knew it, and we were fucked up, right? Worst time to go in the ocean. Please never go into the ocean unless you are 100% sober, and I mean 100% sober, because it's very sobering when you're not. So we had been smoking weed, we were drinking. This is when I lived in LA, and we were at Venice Beach, and my friend came to visit me, and I was like, oh, I'm like, take a picture of me in the water, because like we both, like, you know, when you're having that moment, you're like, I look awesome, I look sexy, I look hot, I'm like, come take a picture of me, you know. And 1 minute I was like this, and the next minute I was out at sea. A wave came in, it got me, and I remember like literally spiraling and going further out and further out and further out. And in that moment, I am telling you, like, I remember like my eyes were open, and I just, as terrified as I was, I just heard like, go with the flow, just go with the flow, just go with the flow. So instead of fighting and screaming or whatever, I just let my body like go. And all of a sudden it's like, I felt like this light came into the ocean, and it probably did. Like, looking back on it now, I'm like, that's probably what happened. Like my spirit guides, or my, you know, my angels, you know. And it was like, and as far out as the wave took me, I just kept rolling with it, and it kept sucking out. And then I just like came back in, and then I just remember like it spit me out. And I just remember going, like, and my friend being like, oh my God, you know, because she's fucked up too, right? And like, we're not, like, we could swim, but we're not like the strongest swimmers, right? And it was like one of those moments where like, it's like, how do people not come over, our lifeguards? And I just remember I was like spitting up water, and people were like, is she okay? And it was scary. You know, so you don't fuck around with forces like that, you know. Bill Nye, the science guy, was saying that about these floods and the way that they came in. He's like, this is like, you know, he's like, you know how it feels when you're carrying a bucket? He's like, think about a 5-gallon bucket of water and how heavy it is. He goes, now think about like when somebody throws a 5-gallon bucket of water on you, you're like, oh my God. He's like, it's like very like, he's like, but now imagine like that many gallons coming at you. He's like, you're not gonna, he's like, if you live or you make it, like, it's a miracle, right? Like that power, not to mention, as gross as it's gonna sound, you guys, but not to mention like the force of the water, right? Like, you've seen it, like I could see what he was saying. He's like, and the force of the water, meaning like, even if you get caught up in that riptide, you go by a sharp branch or whatever, you might as well have just been cut in half by a samurai sword. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, or like you go by a car or something metal under the water. Yes, I know, cringe, right? Like, it's scary. And like, we send blessings and healing energy to all those who've endured that and suffered it, you know. But this has been happening all over the world, and it's been happening for a long time. And Gaia has been talking to us. She is an organism. She's an entity. So is Lilith, the moon, and the moon is run by water. So, you know, allow yourself to cry when these full moons happen. You know, they've done studies on it. Every fucking ER emergency room, right? They say that the busiest time is during a full moon, because everything gets illuminated. People get more cocky, or people get more angry. Whatever you're holding back, whatever you're hiding, whatever you're not releasing is exposed. And it's exposed on fucking like steroids. So allow yourself to go through this. Allow yourself to channel this energy. Also, I'm hearing them say to, did we have another card? Because I feel like you guys had another card. This take less, feel more. Wow. last quarter moon in Pisces. That was at the top of the deck. I don't normally do that, but I was really compelled to do that. And I don't even know if I want to keep it there, but I do, because look at this. Because we were talking about these two having something in their hands, right? And then you've got this one where it's like the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Holy fucking shit. That's why they wanted me to do that. Oh, look at this. I thought it said take less. I swear with everything that I am, I saw TAKE, but it says talk less, feel more. Oh, wow. You know what's interesting about the full moon in Pisces is that's very typical too for the Piscean energy, right? Talk, but they don't want to feel, but they need to feel. So this could be for you. You might be a Pisces. Maybe you're dealing with a Pisces. That is really fucking so interesting, you guys. The maiden, the mother, and the crone. So, and look at how the apophyllite is covering the inner child. So there you go. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to work over the next month. Focus on your past life in this life, meaning your childhood. Look at every nook and cranny, cry it out, talk to people. I watched this movie called Rachel Getting Married. It's free on YouTube right now if you've never seen it. When I first saw it, it got such bad press that I think it's because it was one of the first movies that Anne Hathaway ever did where she was kind of playing this like kind of tough character or whatever. Now we've seen her in multiple roles. And now when I see it, I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, I remember they gave her so much shit. I'm like, I actually think she did a really good job. I think the whole movie was so good. And I feel like if you have any like tumultuous family energy or some past life stuff, or maybe you wore a mask for your family, maybe you're still doing it now, maybe it's something from your past, maybe you ran away from your family, but you haven't dealt with it, like you did the work and you got away from them, but you're not healing it, please watch it. It was so good. I don't want to give away too much because it's such a good movie. But it basically is around a wedding, obviously. And it's about these sisters that have this very tumultuous relationship. And it's over something that happened and a family member that died by the hands of another family member. And it's so powerful and impactful, and maybe it's even for one person, like, because let's put it this way, nothing like that happened in my family, but there were so many similarities in my family in this movie. Like the dynamics and stuff were so interesting that I got so much out of it. And I was so grateful, down to the point where like the stepmom was just trying to be helpful. And like the one daughter's like, thank you very much, Carol. It was really nice of you to, whatever, but can you just please be quiet right now? Like, this isn't about you. This is about us. And I was like, oh shit, because my stepmom's name is Carol. And I was like, gee, I like laughed. And all of my parents have passed now, my biological and my steps. And so they were like sitting there watching it with me. Like now that they're gone, it's like so awesome. I'm like best friends with all of them. And I just love them all so much. But my stepmom comes through a lot. Like she's been in my other lives before. And I always kind of felt that from her too. And I think she did too, which is why I think she always kind of like pulled for me to be more towards them. And I didn't understand at the time what she was doing, but now I do. And anyway, so please look at these things. And when we revisit something, especially a childhood traumatic experience of some kind, whenever we revisit that, we see something through a different lens and through different eyes. I mean, even this movie, I was a different age when that movie came out, right? Like the movie it was quite some time ago, because I was trying to figure out, like, I don't remember why I didn't look, but I was curious, and I remember I was going to look at the date, but I didn't. But anyway, it was quite some years ago, because Anne Hathaway, I think, is in her late 30s or 40s now. And I think in the movie she's supposed to be in her early 20s. So it was definitely some years ago. And I remember renting it and all that. But anyway, it's just a good analogy to help us like figure things out. But the fact that like, that was my ankle cracking. I could have just as easy moved that apophyllite so that you can see it. Do you know what I mean? And this is actually interesting too, because this is like a crescent moon, just like that is in the middle. Very, very interesting. Well, actually, they're all crescent moons, right? Because oh my gosh. And I just looked at this. We got the first quarter moon in the middle, and we've got last quarter moon. And because, right, we start out as like the starseed, the child, like, in these human families, right? In this third dimensional energy. And then like by the time we leave, right, it's like we're at the last, I know what Spirit's trying to say. I'm not finding the words properly. But do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of like the beginning and the end. Because I'm like, well, that wouldn't make sense. I'm like, wouldn't we put first there? They're like, no, it does make sense though, right? Because for some of you, you may be in this first quarter moon energy of trusting the universe. You're not quite there yet. Here, when you're a child, the last quarter moon energy is about lighten up, right? Like you've been through all these phases, blah, blah, blah. Like they're like, now that's in the past. It's the last, right? Like it was it's done. It was last life, last energy, do you see? I know what they're trying to say. So whatever makes sense to you. But right, when you're a child, you need to lighten up. But for some of us, especially a lot of starseeds, we went through a lot of trauma, and we went through that trauma so that we can be the placeholders and the hold the space holders for those who are going to be going through these changes and transformation. They're not going to know what the fuck hit them, really, because once we finally, once we get these patriarchal, whatever, we vote them out or impeach them or whatever happens, once we get these criminals, these war criminals, and get all these people like out and they don't control us anymore, because it will happen. And once that happens, and once the tides turn and things flip, everything is going to change. Everything. So trust the universe. Keep your energy up to the light, right? Talk less and feel more is the energy of the crone, right? Think about it. When you want to talk to somebody, I know for me, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to call grandma, or I'm going to go see grandma, right? Because grandma will make you, if you had a grandma like mine, right? It would be like, what do you want to drink? You want something to eat? Oh, talk to me. And I, like, my grandma and I both smoked. She'd be like, do you need a ciggy? She used to say to me, she was so cute, She's like, do you need a ciggy? She's like, I'm going to have some coffee and a cigarette. She's like, do you want something? Like that kind of like where you can just, and then my grandma would be like, okay, talk, like, tell me what happened, So maybe you need to be that person for others, or maybe you're building into this energy and Spirit's saying like, it's time for you to, ooh, listen to that. That's like something outside too, right? It's not even windy right now. So yes. Okay. You get it, right? Let me see. Do you want me to bring these back out? So be real, take a breather, and forgive. And look at how they're putting these together. How do you forgive? Talk less, feel more. And also a lot of times the forgiveness isn't for somebody. It's not for you. It's for them and you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when we forgive others, even if they don't forgive us, if we forgive ourselves, it's like you are forgiving them. Because if someone doesn't want to forgive you, that's something that they're dealing with or not dealing with, right? Most likely this kind of shit, childhood trauma, they're not dealing with. So be real and lighten up. And also when they're saying lighten up, be real, like go get yourself into real energy, real nature. That's why they're trying to take our the healthcare away, because they're noticing a lot of people who are on Medicaid or people who live like out in like small communities, farms. They don't make a lot of money. And so they're like, but the government's like, well, why should we have to pay for it? Some guy put underneath this Bill Nye for the Science Guy, I was pulled to look at the comments, and some guy from like Denmark, I think, said, this is really gross. He's like, our whole entire country has free healthcare. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I know people say, oh, it's such a small country, of course you should have free healthcare. But they're like, yeah, but it's not about the size. Exactly. He's like, you guys have like a big country. You should have free healthcare. Why don't you have free healthcare? Why isn't your money going to your healthcare? Because our money's going into wars. Our money is going into, whatever. And And the sitting president's like, but we need to be this because look what's happening on the outside. It's like, yeah, but what's happening on the outside is because you guys keep feeding each other and you guys keep fighting. You know what I mean? It's like they're in the same fucking pattern over and over. Who has the most toys wins. Whoever has the most power wins. Whoever. And Bill Nye's like, he's fucking us though. He goes, he said he took away 24, what he was going to Washington to talk to the president was about, or the Congress. He was trying to say to them, he's like, don't you understand? He's like, taking 24% of the budget away from NASA is taking away our power. And he's like, that's how we become powerful in the world. Not like the way they're doing it, right? Like with these guys, this oligarchy and their egos and their bullshit. He's like, how we do it is we put all of our money into being the, like NASA being like the most, we're the ones that have the most technology to get into space and blah blah blah. And he's like, that's how we do it, he's like, but he goes, they don't want to listen to me. He's like, they don't want to hear it. He goes, they know I'm right, but they don't care, is basically what he said. He's like, they know I'm right, they know scientifically, all these scientists are telling them, but they don't fucking care. They don't fucking care. They don't care. They will care. They will care. They will care because shit keeps happening and shit keeps happening. And then when it's too late, it's gonna be like these fucking movies that we see where it's like, well, what did you expect was gonna fucking happen? You didn't want to listen. But instead, this time we've watched this happen over and over, and now all of us light workers are here. It's like we are here. We are the Christ consciousness that is here. We are the Christ consciousness embodied. And now almost all humanity is understanding the Christ consciousness embodied, and that it's not a religion, it's an energy of saying that I love you because I love myself. I care about you because I care about myself. We are one. It's basic math. Like, we all live on the same fucking planet. It's like Independence Day was free, and I started watching it and I was like, I don't like this because they're showing, and I'm like, I don't believe that's going to happen. And I don't want people, I'm like, of course it's free. They want people to think that people like us are we're the enemy. But they're saying we're wolves in sheep's clothing. Oh, spiritual, that doesn't even make sense. You want to be like us. You want to have power. You want to have money, which is like, no, that doesn't fucking make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? So now this one, take a breather and trust the universe. This is where they want you to be. Not over here, completely like, whatever, not over here, but in the middle. Taking a breather, enjoying life. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, enjoy the summer, take a vacation. You can there's a lot of things you can do without money. Okay? And trust the universe. And if you don't have the finances, say, thank you, Spirit, for bringing me the money to help me do what I need to do so that I can do what I need to do to heal myself. Okay? All right. Do we want to go in the book at all for reading 2? Do we have any more messages, channeled or otherwise, for reading 2 at this time? Nope, that's it, you guys. All right, I hope these messages helped you in any way. I love you so much. Spirit loves you. And all of my information or anything that you need in terms to work with me or contribute to the work on this channel, which is always a gift. And I'm always in gratitude, but it's also for exchange of energy. Prayer is free. Remember that. We are light workers. We don't just take. Remember in this one they were talking about, I said take more or take less, feel more. It's same thing. If somebody helps you, send some good energy their way. I don't care if somebody just opened the door for you. You can say something nice to them and send them a nice prayer, or even like in your head, just say, thank you, Spirit, for doing something nice for them today. Because the more you pray for people, the more you put out, whether it's tangible, physical, or through your mind, through your energy, it always comes back to you. That's why I keep saying this to you guys. I'm not doing it to try and get you to feed me, Simon, which I do need to eat. So thank you. And thank you for those who do contribute. I know you guys do. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? You got to feed your soul. And part of feeding your soul is taking less and giving more. Until next time, I love you so much. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Love yourselves and each other. Bye. Welcome, reading 3. My beloved friends. Okay, so... wow, no matter what I did, I could not shake this fucking heavy energy. So, wow, this must be the energy you must release. So, blessed full moon in Capricorn, thank you for coming to this reading today. Welcome back to those of you who keep coming back, and welcome to all the new people. There is a really heavy, heavy shadow energy that's happening. Before we delve in, though, I would be remiss if I didn't notice that, like, Spirit builds the altars. Like, they kind of show me, like, where to put things. And but I have to say, like, I thought it was really cool that, look at how they had me put the card right here, and it kind of, like, matches up almost perfectly. And it's interesting because that's what it feels like. I feel like you guys are over here in, like, this, like, heavy shadow, and then, like, over here there's, like, this glowing light, you know, and it's like you're striving towards it, like you're almost there. Like, I can see it peeking out a little bit, you know what I mean? Let's find out what your card says. You chose, oh, trust all will be well, new moon in Virgo. Okay, so listen, it's a lot out there. Okay, in real time, today is July 10th, 2025. It's an 8 number for those of you who are into numerology. It's about infinity, which is interesting because, you know, trust is believing that everything is going to work out, even if it doesn't look like it will, right? Because we may have in our mind the way we think it should be orchestrated, but it always is going to be shown exactly the way it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be that way. Also, I do have my calendar here, and if you were drawn to any of the other readings, feel free to go watch them, but don't make something your story if it's not your story, okay? So the new moon in Virgo is very interesting because this year it's a little different. We spoke about this in reading 2. So this year, the new moon in Virgo and the Virgo season are all happening at the same time as Leo is going to be it's like the way it's going, they can't technically say that the new moon, that it's not the new moon in Virgo because of where the placements are. So it's going to look like we're going from Taurus to Virgo, like the moon, excuse me, I keep saying Taurus. Is somebody a Taurus in here? Or maybe you have a Taurus in your energy, because I keep seeing Taurus and I keep saying it, so maybe it means something to you guys. Okay. But the new moon in Virgo and Virgo season, like I said, are happening like right as it goes from like Leo to Virgo. And because of the way that it's going, the following month is the same way, when it's going to be going from Virgo to Libra, but because of just the degrees, it's going to still be in Virgo. The new moon's going to still be in Virgo. So we're going to have what they call a black moon. And that's probably why I kept feeling this darkness and this heavy energy as well, like this blackness, because I kept feeling like a blackness, like a dark. So it's, when that happens, that's pretty intense. So we're going to have 2 moons in Virgo back to back, which is earth energy. And we're going to go from fire energy to earth energy to earth energy. But it's not really technically, right? Because it's just like, here's the new moon, right? It's the 22nd. And then it's like the 21st. So it's like, there's just a lot's going to be happening. A week from today is actually, Mercury is going to be going retrograde, and it's going to be the 3rd quarter moon. And then the week after that, we've got Leo and Leo season, or new moon in Leo. And then Mercury is going to be retrograde until the 10th of August. So basically the next 6 months is just going to be super intense. And if you follow astrology, or if you follow astrologers, you know, like, it's no fucking joke. Like, so much shit is going to happen in such a short period of time. And either the president, I feel like the sitting president is going to get impeached, and I think it's going to be like something where, I don't want to, you guys know I don't like to talk out of school, but just all the things that I've been feeling and the energy that people are putting out, which just makes things worse. So it'll probably escalate, and I don't know, but I don't want to put that energy there. But, you know, if someone isn't going to go willingly, that could be a problem. I'm not saying it's going to happen. You know, there's just a lot of interesting things that are going to take place over the next several years. And we are in the height of this takeover, right? Like the light coming back and the shadow not wanting to relinquish control. And so it's just going to be a very interesting time. But the most pivotal time is this year, in the year of the snake. Because next year is the year of the horse, which the horse represents freedom, and snake represents rebirth and shedding of old energies, old skin. You know what I mean? So a lot is going to happen. And I'm hearing from Spirit to trust. You have to trust in Spirit. If you've never trusted or had faith before, this is the time. I don't care if you have to look like a crazy person, you know, like a crazy clown, where you're like, I'm good, everything's happy. Fake it till you make it. You're going to cry. Please cry. We need the cleansing. We need the cleansing. Cry and show, because crying is strength. Releasing control is strength. It takes a lot of strength to let go of control and let somebody else drive. So just relinquish control, relinquish the need for control, because this full moon in Capricorn, this energy is all about what do you need to release. You chose this reading because you are asking Spirit, what do I need to release? They're like, control and trust. You must trust. Release control and trust. Trust all will be well. I don't care if you have to write it on a post-it. All will be well. All will be well. I trust all will be all, or not even, just say all is well. All is well. That's the one Spirit's been giving me since the beginning of this year. So, or whatever feels good to you, but all is well is saying that it's already happened. It's here, because this is saying will be. It's saying trust all will be well. Just trust all is well. Let's just take this. Let's just say trust all is well. Trust all is well. All is well. Believe in magic and miracles. Believe in magic and miracles, because the light can come at any time. Look at that. I kept trying to put it lighter and it would not let me. And now I know why. So yours was the only reading that pulled one card. So I just want to see. Sometimes when that happens, it's because there's other cards in the deck that they want me to use from another reading. But readings 1 and 2, they actually had me pull all of their cards first. So that's why I'm like, this could be all you need right now is, that. But let me see. Spirit, do we have any more messages for reading 3 at this time? And of course, like I said, if you're drawn to reading 1 or reading 2, go watch them. But don't make something your story if it's not your story. Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure this fell. Whenever it falls, I always want to make sure that this is the one that they want me to use. Hold on. I think it fell back in the deck. I shuffle with my eyes closed. It's better for both of us. I'm a really powerful fucking witch, man. Like, I can make things happen. Lately, I've been making, well, I don't know if it's me. I mean, it's me, but it's like my higher self. I say it's my witch and blah, 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 but really it's just me. It's just my higher self that like won't allow me to do something. But then if I do it another way, it happens easily. And like to things where it's like, what in the world, So reveal what needs to be seen. Last quarter moon in Scorpio. You know what? I was going to look up when eclipse season was. I forgot to put it on my calendar. I noticed that recently when I was doing the retrogrades. So last quarter moon in Scorpio, reveal what needs to be seen. I feel like this wants to come over here. Reveal what needs to be seen. What? Yeah, because it keeps wanting to go down to the shadow. And I get it, like it's a moody day. Like it's interesting. I almost want to pick up my camera right now because one side of outside is like really gloomy. And the other side is, oh, you might be able to see it through. Okay, so like this side is like, there's barely any blue sky. It's just kind of cloudy. Do you see that? But then on this side, you can almost see it. Can you see the blue coming through? And it's like, because I live at the base of the mountains. So do you see how it's getting darker? So I think they wanted me to show you that, like, because I feel like some of you are in like this like old paradigm of like the loop of infinity of negativity. Right? Like we're doomed. I just know it. Or look what's happening. Or why should I even bother? Why should I do anything? I mean, I saw somebody recently on a talk show. They were really fucking pissed. It was a celebrity. I'm not going to call them out. If you've seen it, you've seen it. But they were just like, they're like, this is what happens when people don't vote. They're like, you know what? They're like, if it's true that the margin was that slim where like, Kamala only lost by this much, they're like, I know we do these readings from other countries besides the US, but I mean, we can't, it's like the elephant in the room. It's what's happening right now. And we're watching it get progressively worse since this horrific, fucking disgusting bill came into play in America that is taking, millions and millions and millions of Americans off healthcare, old people, elderly, young people. It's just the weirdest, fucking grossest outward. Like, how do you not see, they're like, well, you should be able to afford it. And they're like, no, because they're like, see, we won't give you healthcare if you don't come work for us, if you don't play the game, if you don't fit in the fucking matrix, if you don't stay in our paradigm, that's what happens to you. It's like, well, you know what? Well, fuck you. We don't need your healthcare anyway because we know how to heal ourselves now. We're going to go have our good food. We're going to take care of ourselves. Why don't you take your richy riches and go, whatever. It's like there's just so much that is going to be revealed. It's unbelievable. So it's time for you to do the same. Spirit's like, I promise you, if you trust in me, all is going to be well. But you also have to give me something. You have to reveal what needs to be seen. And I feel like for some of you, because there's like, this has been very much like timelines. And I said this before. I don't get into the, semantics of like timelines and things like that. Like, that's not part of what I do on this channel. And so when it comes in, I'm always like, listen up, because we are working together as light workers, and we are going on Spirit's fucking time. We're not going on the third dimensional time or whatever. We're going on what's really happening and the astrology and all that, right? So if this is going to be this double moon, right? Like a dark moon. So we have the new moon in Virgo in August, then we have the new moon in Virgo in September, which means that the new moon in Scorpio will be October 21st. And that means that, let me see, that means that the third quarter moon, the last quarter moon, that's what the last quarter moon is, this third quarter moon in Scorpio, is going to be November 11th. And isn't that funny? On 11, which is also Veterans Day. Because you know what else? These veterans are like, I didn't fucking fight, storm the beaches of Normandy, watch my buddy blow up in fucking, Vietnam, for you to fucking take my healthcare away. Fuck you. How dare you? Like, shit's gonna get fucking real. In Canada, it's Remembrance Day. So shit's about to get really fucking real. I don't know if it's true, but right before I started this, I saw some headline. I was looking for something else, and I saw this headline that said that the U.S. Government was complaining that the smoke from the Canadian fires was ruining the 4th of July holiday or something like that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, is this a joke? I mean, it might be, I don't know. But if it wasn't, that even right there, it's like, are you kidding me right now? These people are losing like whatever. They're losing their acreage. I mean, it's just like, it's so crazy. I mean, they may be doing it to fuck with the U.S. I don't know. I mean, sometimes they do fires to do thinning, but usually they don't do fires to thin this time of year when it's so dry. But anyway, so I digress. So you hear that, right? So a week after Election Day in the U.S. is the 11/11, which is the 11/11 portal. So it's saying reveal what needs to be seen. So they're saying like, this isn't just a timeline for us. This is a timeline for the planet. Like everything that we're going to need to know, or everything, I feel like they're saying to us, like, I just got the chills, what all will be revealed by the 11/11 portal. And we just had the 7/7 portal, and we're coming up on the 8/8 portal. The Lionsgate portal, which is also the Dragonsgate portal, is going to be happening in August. I mean, when the Lionsgate portal opens, when Leo comes in and the Lionsgate portal opens, from then until this like double dark moon, I feel like there's going to be so much shit that's going to unearth. It's going to be crazy. And I feel like by 11/11, it's going to be like, holy shit. And then I feel like why that heart was on 12/29 is I feel like before the new year, something major is going to like break through and happen. So just have faith, have trust, have faith in your fellow light workers, have faith in humanity. You keep coming back here. If you're new here, you're obviously a light worker, most likely an earth angel of some kind, right? Like you came here to do this. So it's like, snap out of it. Remember Cher in Moonstruck, right? Get it in Moonstruck. And when, Nicolas Cage is losing his shit and she fucking smacks him really hard and she's like, snap out of it, because he's just like rambling on to this darkness of like despair, and she's like, stop. That is your fucking problem, because you live in this darkness and despair. So get out of the darkness and despair. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get out of this darkness and despair. And when it comes for you, start just saying, I love myself, I love humanity, I love teddy bears, I don't fucking care. I don't care if, you know what I mean, cry until you laugh. That's like, you know, as Dolly Parton says in Steel Magnolias, laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. Mine too. You know, and whenever I'm having like these breakthroughs and these breakdowns and I'm crying, usually something major will come through and I'll start laughing and I'll just look at spirit and be like, man, or the ancestors, you know, and you know that that's a wink wink from them saying like, hang fucking in there. Okay? So let go of fear, let go of worry, let go of concern. All is well, and trust that all is well, and trust that what needs to be revealed will be seen when we need to see it. Also, remember that it could also be for the next year, because I don't have the following year calendar. This one's a 2-year calendar, but I need to get a new one. But remember that the following year is going to be the fucking jackpot, because actually, no, I take that back. Well, technically, the jackpot will be 2027, because next year is 2026 and 2026 comes out to 10. So this year it's going to be 11, 11, 9, meaning like we're almost there. Like maybe we're going to reveal things, but like it won't come together until like next year on the 11, 11 portal. It'll be 11, 11, 10. Right? And it'll be all ones. It'll be like all about all new beginnings. And then in 2027 will be an 11 year and will be the year of rebuilding. And how beautiful will that be when 2027 will be 11, 11, 11. Trust. Hold faith. Participate when you can. Pull back when you need to work on yourself. Then jump back in again and help again. Then jump back in and help yourself. Don't give up. Keep going. We love you. Spirit had me start Sacred Sunday for a reason. So every Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time, I go live with the tribe. You have to subscribe to be able to go live and participate, but you don't have to pay anything. I mean, of course you can always contribute, but like that's not what it's for. It's like, I mean, it's there for us to come together as a community once a week, no matter where we are in the world, so that we can, you know, have that strength to keep us going, because we're going to need it, and we're going to, you know, need that energy from each other to uplift each other to get through the next week. Okay? Do we have any more messages, Spirit, for reading 3? Do we have any more messages? I think that's it. Oh, look what's at the bottom. So if any of you were drawn to reading 1, this came out in reading 2 as well. So if you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go watch it. If you're not, it doesn't mean that you need to, okay? It just means that it's a wink, wink, and here's just a message from Spirit, right? It's like RuPaul always says, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? If you don't forgive yourself, how are you going to forgive anybody else? And you know what? You, obviously, somebody let you down because you don't trust. When I'm having the worst times is when I'll cry through it and I'll be like, I believe in magic and miracles. And I'll be like, I love you, Spirit. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. That's all they want to know. They're like, okay. They will pull you out, but you have to believe in them, and you have to believe in magic and miracles. If you keep going to the 3rd dimensional energy for your answers, you will not find them there. That world is gone. That life is gone. And you lived in it. You lived in it before, in a different lifetime, a different, you know, maybe you were an ancient Egyptian, maybe you were, you know what I mean? But those thousands of years, that was slavery, that was torture, that was, you know, mine. I take what I want. We divide and conquer. Oh, look, they're getting together as a community. Kill them, you know, make them be scared of us. You know what I mean? Like, they've been doing these war tactics. Everything the fucking leaders of these worlds are doing, right, or these countries right now are doing, Freudian slip, interesting, right? Because it is their own world, right? Like the sitting American president, like, they're in their own fucking world of delusion. If they ever had to fight for food or fight for healthcare or had to do with any of that, when you're born with the fucking silver spoon in your mouth, you have no fucking clue. Most of my friends growing up had, or I shouldn't say most of them, but a big chunk of my friends growing up had money, or they at least were comfortable, and they had no fucking clue what it was like. And a lot of people saw that my life was a certain way. Then when my parents got divorced, they're like, well, can't you, blah, blah, blah. Like my mom and I, we lived in government subsidized housing. I was so ashamed to live there that when people would want to drive me home, I lied and told them that we moved to this neighborhood, and I'd have people drop me off in the neighborhood behind the projects where I lived because I didn't want anyone to know I lived there. I was ashamed. But why was I ashamed to live there? My mom, she had nothing. This was before the laws became in place where my dad had to give her child support. He was like, you want to be with me? You have to be with me. You don't want to be with me? You're on your own, And my mom, they were 17 and 18 when they got together. She never really had a job. She tried, when she was younger, she had a few jobs here and there, but she never really, you know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't really have that experience. So, she had to work in a grocery store in one of the roughest neighborhoods in Chicago where being a white person is a minority, right? So shit changes you. When you go from having money to not having it, it changes you and it strengthens you. So, you know what I mean? It's like they haven't had to go to prison for the things they've done, even though they were whatever, they become the president. It's just bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold. This has been going on for centuries. No more. It's not going to happen anymore. Shit's getting fucking real. People are like, no fucking more. Trust me. When push comes to shove, light is already winning. Trust in yourself. Trust in spirit. Drink some water. My throat chakra has been so tight for the last 2 readings. It was free flowing, and then by sometime in reading 1, it started to get worse. All right, so do we have any more messages for reading 3 after forgive? So, it's like you have to forgive yourself and forgive others, or else you won't be able to move forward. And then you'll wonder why you're still stuck in these ruts, or why things, Let me see if they want us to read from the book. Do I want to read from the book from any of these cards? Do we have any more messages for this reading right now? Spirit, do we have any channeled messages from any crossed over loved ones that would like to speak right now? We are open. If anybody would like to say anything, any pearls of wisdom that might help anybody at this time. They just drew my eyes to the inside of the box, which says, attune to the moon and manifest miracles. This came up in some of the other readings too, in reading 1, right? Because we are made up of, predominantly made up, our human avatars, our biological meat suits are 70% water. So if they are 70% water, and the water is there to cushion our organs, to cushion our bones, like that energy of water, right? And it's also used as a diuretic system to purge out toxins. Water is a carrier. Water is so wonderful and so beautiful. Cancer is just so, this is actually one of my favorite times of the year. I used to not like summer, and now I realize I'm like, no, I really do. I just don't like being hot. I don't like, when I saw the weather for next week, I was like, ugh, you know what I mean? I'm like anything above 80, I'm like, no, thank you. 85 is my tap out, which is why I moved to the Pacific Northwest. I'm like, I don't want to live in the tundra, but I just don't like it, and I need to be in the more arid because I don't like the humidity. Everybody's different. I have people who love humidity, love water. Look at that shark woman who, she loves it. She was born with fins. She said she's always loved the water. Her name is Ocean. I don't know if that's her real name or I saw it on her thing, or if it's a clever, she changed it. I don't know. But either way, it's like, I've been watching these other people, these women who are sailing, that's amazing. So don't let fear hold you back from what you want to do. And also it's interesting because in reading 2, every card had some type of person in it, and this one had nobody in it. And I really loved this energy because there's something, because Virgo's earth, right? Earth, air, fire, water, Virgo's an earth energy. And the fact that it's there's this illumination coming from, you can see the moon's underneath here. It's just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, right? So remember that the moon everything is ruled by or water is ruled by the moon. So if the moon rules all water, then it would make sense that if we're made up of water, that we should go by the moon cycles. But these administrations and these, these suppressors, these oppressors, excuse me, they look at, oh, that's good, right? That's good Freudian slip. These oppressors, that's what they want. They want us to not trust ourselves. They want us to not trust Earth. They want us to, trust in them. But look at where that trust got us. They led us astray time and time and time and time again. And the fact that they tote that they're Republicans like Lincoln is sickening, because the Republicans, think about it, they were the people of the Republic. Like they were the freedom fighters, the Republicans. Abraham Lincoln was a freedom fighter, but they switched at some point. They flipped the script, and both of them, the Democrats and the Republicans, this has been an insidious act that's been happening on both sides of the fence for centuries. So remember, don't believe in everything you see. Believe in yourself. Believe in your instincts, your intuition. That is literally your superpower. And get near water. I'm hearing you need some healing energy from the water. And hang in there. All will be revealed. All will be revealed. So if it's not going to be this last quarter moon in Scorpio, then it'll definitely be in the year of either next year, or it'll be in the next, or maybe they're trying to show us that like that's how it's going to keep happening, right? Because we know that we have the new year, which is like the new moon, right? They're saying trust all will be well in the new year, because things at the beginning of each year, it's new, it's all new, it's new energies, and then by the end everything gets revealed. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you have any more messages, Spirit? Sorry, that wasn't a sigh for you. That was like that was a lot. But I'm so grateful. I love the work that I do. I really do. Thank you so much. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, or if you'd like a recorded reading, I do those. I work on a sliding scale. All of my information is in the description box if you'd like to send a email request. Also, I wanted to put this out there because I don't know why they're having me do this now, but I'm going to put this out there. So maybe it's for somebody in this reading. When I say email me, I mean like email me because you want to work with me, or email me because we know each other. Because sometimes people send me emails like a reading, like you want me. And it's like, if you want me to do a reading, then you can tell me everything, but it's like, say, like even put in like the, description or whatever, like reading request or something like that, or session request, because I do more than just readings. I'm also a natural Reiki, natural energy healer. So I do a lot of different things, and I work with people in their homes. I can work with people over Zoom. I mean, I do so many different things. But it occurred to me recently, because I had gotten this email and it was so awesome, but I was just like, is this like, I realized, I'm like, I don't know how to ask this. I'm like, do they want a reading? Because there were so many questions in it that I was like, so are you asking for a reading? And then I said, well, I'll get back to you. But then I realized, I'm like, maybe I need to word it differently. So do you know what I'm saying? So put in the description or the, subject or whatever, when you're sending the email, of like what exactly you're wanting from me. Like, are you wanting to get together with me, to get together with me, and you're just, whatever, or like, are you like looking for some type of spirit work where like I can do a recorded reading, or we do one-on-one. Recorded readings are literally like much cheaper than my one-on-one sessions, because the recorded readings, I can do them at any time I want to. And the sessions is like, we put a time together with spirit, and then like, it's an exchange of energy. And most of the time when people are getting readings, it's not because the energy is like, oh, everything's great, I don't need anything. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's people who are like, I'm like, do you just want to hang out? Or like, you're just like sending me an email, or because it's a slippery slope, and I want to help people. But remember that my time is precious too. And I have other work and jobs like outside of this. I have a lot going on in my life right now. I'm also going through a remodel on my house. So like, I am so overwhelmed. And as much as I'd love to just help people for free, willy-nilly right now, this is what I do for free. You know what I mean? No one's paying me to show up and do these readings. No one's paying me to do whatever. So I just wanted to be clear on that. And maybe I need to find a languaging or something to be more clear on that to put in the description box. But anyway, it'll tell you in there. So until then, take really good care of yourselves and each other. And like I said, all my links are there too if you'd like to contribute anything to the work that I do here. Prayer is free. And until next time, I love you. And Spirit loves you, and we will see each other again soon. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Sacred Sunday. Don't forget, every Sunday, noon Pacific Standard Time, live here on the Magical Medium. I love you so much. I'll see you later. Blessed be. Aho. Bye.